from RevengeOfTheBirds.com. We have got on the phone Jess Root joining us right now from Arizona. Jess, thanks so much, man, for joining us, especially on short notice. Really appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. Well, glad to have you.
Let's talk about Kevin Kolb. The thing I find interesting is just going through your site and going through the comment section. People are split. It seems like more people are unhappy than they are happy. I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Do you like it? Is he the quarterback of the future? What do you make?
Personally, I've been hoping for Kevin Kolb since October, knowing the situation the Cardinals were in. But that's me. There are concerns about the amount, what the team had to give up, and the amount of money they're paying him for a guy that with 7 starts under his belt. And of those 7 starts, he's got some really good ones and some, not so great ones. But overall, I think it was more because of the price that it cost up Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie and a pick in particular, because at least my community that I manage, they really like the idea of having in the defensive secondary Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, Patrick Peterson, and Greg Toller throwing the secondary out there, because that could have been a potentially deadly, much like they have out in Philly right now.
I was going to say, it's the exact same thing in Philadelphia, isn't it?
If anything else, the one thing the fans rather are excited about what the Cardinals have done is the fact that after decades of stopgaps and this and that, they went out, targeted a guy they really wanted, the guy that was the top of their list, and made it happen, and paid a lot for it. And then that's something different than what the organization has done over time. In fairness to Aaron Rodgers, his was a slightly different situation because he had been with one franchise the whole time, so it was the team that had seen him in practice the whole time. Now, granted, I know the Cardinals have been high on Cobb ever since the draft, ever since he was drafted. But all reports have that Cobb has been absolutely wonderful, that he's a great teammate, and he's already starting to win over players and fans. He's got that leadership, that kind of the it factor that you like in your quarterback, that kind of draws everyone to him.
This was a team that everybody looked at a couple years ago, obviously during the Super Bowl run, and said, man, look at those wide receivers, phenomenal wide receivers. And that's really what a lot of people looked at. Kurt Warner in the wide receiving core and Patrick Peterson in the secondary. That's what everybody really looked at more often than not. But with this team now obviously Bolden's gone, Breston just left, heading to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do they got now? Who is it going to be? I mean, is Chancey Stuckey going to be trying to fill into that role? Who is actually going to be jumping into that role, and are they going to go after a guy like Braylon Edwards?
From what I understand, that they are talking with Braylon Edwards, and at least with all the reports that are coming out, that probably Arizona is the most likely landing spot for Braylon Edwards. If they don't land him, there's a couple options. Chancey Stuckey, I don't think, will be the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
They got a couple of guys in-house already. Early Doucette, who's had injury problems, hasn't quite been able to stay healthy his first 3 years in the league. He could take over, and he's been compared locally. He's the same type of player like Anquan Bolden without the... he's kind of like Anquan Bolden-wise, the type of player he is. He's got great hands. He's tough. And he just had to fight the injury bug. And the other possibility is Andre Roberts, whom they drafted last year, who really, coming out of training camp, looked like he was a bad signing. But late in the year, he came on strong. In fact, in the last couple of games against Dallas, kind of one of the things that kind of led to Steve Breston's departure was, and it had him a little bit upset because Steve Breston didn't see the field the second half because they were giving Roberts a look. They think real highly of him. So if they don't land Edwards, it'll be an unproven number 2, but it'll be a number 2 that the team really believes can fill the role.